You already know what it is. It's your boy Top Cat 100. You back at the Real Field TV. Shout out to all my real supporters. Shout out to all the new subs. And shout out to all the free love, man, because that's what this all about at the end of the day. And like I say, when we talk, we going to talk with sense and we going to talk about things that matter. Now today, we going to bring, of course, Father Hustle back up. It's only right, man. Samantha get all her shine. Everybody get all they shine. Of course, Nip Father got his shine earlier. We do have video on him. And basically, we just want to always salute him for keeping it going and keeping it striving the way he doing. Because at the end of the day, it's still a hard time for him. No father can fathom their son not being with them day in and day out, not as far as every day meaning in that sense, but just being able to pick up the phone and talk to him and see what's going on. Now, here we'll be dealing with steps and, the type of mastermind we're dealing with and the type of person that when we talk about standing behind people and we talk about Blacc Sam, getting this ownership and, all of the business intact and overseeing that, we always got to remember who instilled certain business tactics and, expose certain business circles to not only Nip and him. See, this is what we fail to realize. Father Hustle was already a made man, long before, Nip even became a rapper. Nip had a trying life. He had his ups and downs, and we want that to be known. That's not to take away nothing from Nip, but we got to understand his father always had business ties. And most people you see him in pictures with is going to be either two things. It's going to be people who support the store and support the movement, which he should take his time out to do. And you will be seeing the pictures, and others will be associates around his age that's from his home, country, and also people that's down here, that's extended family and also relatives. Now, TMC must go on in a way to where everybody must get their credit at all times. And what we mean by that is understanding the moves and understanding the principles that he already instilled in them to get the motivation and courage to build up, to go out here and make things happen as businessmen. Because, one thing in the Black community that our parents, lack giving us is self-motivation, because we're always taught to look down on each other and we're never taught nothing significant about each other in our history, and when you see people come through the store and they supporting this man and you see, all of his close friends and, we talking about a business circle. And when we dealing with business circles, the only way to be successful as Nip was in the studio, and not only in the studio, he took this from his father as far as actually establishing relationships, because that's the only way that we're going to flourish as far as business, and they already knew that. And this is what he put into them, and this is what they've been known. So when we talk about Nip being an intelligent businessman, we got to ask ourselves how. Like, he didn't get all that from the streets, because most of the time in the 60s, in the crew that he came up in, it's haters in every crew. You know what I'm saying? And that's known because we dealing with a 60 that is the cause of this whole thing and this whole demise that we're going through. So, if this guy actually didn't take what his father instilled in them and seeing, his country and seeing the people from where he from struggle, then he couldn't be able to relate all the way around the board. So when we talk about universal love, this is another thing that he put into his kids, because not only was he involved with relatives, he was involved with family. So the bond, when we talk about Blacc Sam, when we talk about Nip, we talking about a bond that can never be broke. So when we talk about why LL wasn't, the overseer and stuff like that, even if she was married, I felt like, she shouldn't be, because only Blacc Sam was with him from the first start, the get-go. When they was getting harassed up on the corners and getting their stuff kicked down and stuff like that, And, they kept doing that to him until they could be fortunate enough to rent a building and to start a business from the ground up. They took these type of things and these type of initiatives to apply to the business aspect so they could flourish and be to the top. And within no time, due to demand of Father Hustle, they got to where they needed to be. So let's not take away from nobody, because when we talk about Imani and we talk about her old enough saying where she want to go, you have to be 12 years old in most states, which I explained. But you got to understand the father figure that she still has in her life when it comes to, Father Hustle. Because even though Blacc Sam there, Blacc Sam still trying to get all of this mess intact. I'm sure he keep up with, he's the uncle. He gonna keep up with her and do for her, and she's set for life. We already know that. But when we talk about somebody with more time and passive time, we're talking about, Nip grandmother. We're talking about Nip's father, Nip's mother. These are the type of people that Imani is surrounded by. And you know how it is with that granddaddy love. They always spoil you, and you end up being a daddy's girl and a granddaddy girl and more of a granddaddy girl. That's just how it go. Because, with Imani, I know he don't see her no wrong in his eyes as far as her doing. So we salute him for that. It's a lot of people of high stature that came to the store and supported, and automatically they go up to Father Hustle and they take pictures because they understand the foundation that he set forth and what he was all about, and about the masterminding as far as business circles and, establishing business relationships. I can't stress that enough when I talk about that. R.I.P. to John Singleton or whatnot, he came through, he showed his love, but this is the only way for Father Hustle to actually enjoy himself and actually, bring out the kid in himself sometime, because he's so busy masterminding, but through the loss, people came together from all walks of life. And not only that, a lot of entertainers of high stature, like I explained a little earlier. Now, Vin Raines, we all know that he seen Gilly the Kid from Philly, go at it with Cassidy on his block, and he actually thought that would G'd up, so he pulled him into a movie role. And this is how Gilly got his start in the movie industry and stuff like that. And a couple of years later, Gil met Nip, and this is how Gilly introduced Nip to Vin Raines. So this is where those roots come from right here. You see, and this is why Vin Raines came through and he supported the store, and he was always a supporter of the TMC movement, because when him, Gilly the Kid, and Nipsey did that movie together, then that's what tied them together for life, as friends, as business partners. So Father Hustle, you did an exceptional job. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the people come through to show love. The type of person that when people come through the store and they bought clothes and stuff like that, he was always willing to take a picture. And, all type of stars, everybody high profile, they walked up to Father Hustle because, like I say, a blind person can see that he put his input in on Blacc Sam and also Nip when, Nip was here, and he actually is the person that established the motivation. And this is why he was hands-on. He was in the store. Most people like Nip father, shouldn't have been at the store really. You see what I'm saying? Especially Fishy Cuz and everybody was so-called helping out and employees. But he still showed face. He still showed love. And like I say, I pray that this clothing brand and the whole thing keep flourishing. And it was a line wrapped around the whole building for the release of his cannabis line and also, the new clothing line. So no matter what haters say about, white people being in pockets and helping an already privileged African American, you don't have to support the movement. You best just shut up then. If you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say it at all. Because at the end of the day, the money is going into the kids' funds and, bank account, and it's going straight to the kids. It's already known. If the family behind it, You know, everybody should be behind it who love Nip. So with that being said, I'm out.